Maker here with one of our endurance sports car racing and driving tips. So this is brought to us by Discovery Parts. They're your source for getting all your driver gear from head to toe. They're there for you. You call them up, you order online, and you'll get your stuff really quick. It's really amazing. So hey, we're here to talk a little bit today about getting past. Again, driving tips. In endurance sports car racing, you're more than likely going to get past. Let me tell you, in all my years of racing, I've been past thousands and thousands of times. And through those thousands of times, I've learned what maybe some techniques that'll help you avoid getting hit. Because again, you want to let that car go by, don't get hit, and don't lose time. That's the whole trick. So that's what we're going to talk about today. One of the important parts about getting past is making sure you have correct mirror placement. And hey, we have a video that's on that, so check it out in the text below. We'll go ahead and drop that in there, but we have a great video that talks about that in one of our episodes about proper mirror placement. But again, proper mirror placement doesn't work if you're not checking your mirrors, right? And you're not putting the car in the right position to be passed, right? So let's just talk a little bit about that today. So I have a straightaway and a turn here. So first we're going to start off with a straightaway. So again, we're going to say we're the car getting past. One of the most important parts of getting past is to A, be predictable. Be predictable, right? And secondly, to be able to get into the habit of checking your mirrors. And I know that's hard. You know, when I was running in like the Rolex series or in the Michelin Pilot series, and you're in that touring class or in the GT class and the bigger cars are passing you, it's a hard habit to get into because you're focused on your driving. But the problem is, if you're going to be passed, you've got to be into a habit of where you almost go up to your mirrors and back to the track, up to your mirrors and back to the track. And again, that's why I also recommend that you place mirrors in a way that are in your vision of sight. You shouldn't have to move your head too much to see the mirrors. But again, let's say the cars are coming up on us. We need to be predictable. So let's talk about a straightaway. So if we're on the straightaway and the cars, and you're coming out and you're on a straight line, let's say this is your car here right now, right? And the car's coming up on you. Make sure as they're coming up that you give signals. You give the correct signals both in your body, with your hands, and in how the car looks. So first of all, make sure that you can get your hand out the window. It's interestingly, I recently went from black gloves to yellow gloves, and it made all the difference in people being able to see my hands. So again, that's something if you're into a situation of getting new gloves from Discovery Parts, I would look at getting some bright gloves because when you go to stick your hand out the window or in the car, people will be able to see your hand motion. And again, give them very distinct motions of what you want. Go that way, or even in the car. And again, if you're doing it in the car, you've really got to get your hand in the window area where they can see it, but you want to be pointing so that they can see what you want. Give them a couple motions with your hands to say which way you want. And then hold steady and let them do it. So in his example like this, I'm on the straightaway. I'm not going to be so close that I'm going to drop my tires off in the grass, but I'm going to be over here so they have plenty of room. And I'm going to stick my hand out the left window and I'm going to give them a double point so they know. Then I hold steady. Okay? That's very important. Now, here's the one thing though that people tend to do. Let's say we're getting down here, down to the brake zone, right? So let me pull my marker out. Let's just pretend we're in the brake zone here now. One thing that I do see a lot of times though is people give the motion and then all of a sudden that car that you told to pass goes, oh, okay, great. And they go about right here. And you've given them that opportunity to pass because you told them, go ahead and do it. And then all of a sudden you think, well, I'll just go ahead and go through without it. You've got to give them that opportunity to pass in. So what you want to do is once they get beside you, if you have to, lift off a little bit before the brake zone or brake a little earlier so that they can get alongside you and go by. Okay? What you don't want to do is be in a situation where you, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the turn after I've already waved them by. That's when a wreck's going to happen. Another thing to not do is, remember I said lift off or brake a little early? Don't do that while they're still behind you. That's also asking for an incident because if you brake early or lift early, this is what's going to happen. Boom, crash. Let them get over to the side of you before you start to let that happen, okay? The other thing I said, you remember I talked about don't get so close to the edge of the track that you don't have any room? Leave yourself maybe 4 or 5 feet. You know, normally you might go into the turn and be almost to the outer edge where you're dropping your tires in the grass. Don't do that when you're being passed. Give yourself 3 or 4 feet, not 2 car lengths, but just 3 or 4 feet. Because again, if you come into the brake zone and the other car's passing you and they start to come over on you, you need to have a margin of error then that you can move over a little bit and they don't run you off the track. So again, that's very important. Don't be in the middle of the track. but again, don't be so close to the edge that you don't have a margin of error where they can do that, okay? In the middle of a pass, and let's say you're actually in the passing zone and you're actually didn't see them coming and they decide to start passing you on the outside, okay? If that's the case, what you need to do is hold your line, and if they start to continue to stay on the outside, just hold your line tight, okay? Now, you have to be careful with this because if they don't try to attempt to pass you on the outside, but as you're going through the turn, they're on the outside of you, what that driver is more likely doing, though, instead is setting up so that as you trail out, they're going to do the undercut. And that's fine too. What you just have to make sure in the middle of that turn is, are they trying to actually pass me on that side, or are they checking up, letting me go wide and go back underneath? The worst thing you can do, though, in these situations is panic and just drive right down the middle of the road, because then the person passing you has no idea whether you're going to trail out or trail in, okay? So again, these are all important things. Be predictable, give yourselves a margin of error, and make sure you're providing proper signaling, okay? Do it with authority, do it with affirmation, but don't do it with anger, because that will also lead back to the person's passing. If you do it with an anger, they're going to get mad at you too. So again, these are all my suggestions when you're getting past, and guess what? We're all going to get past at some point in time in our lives.